Robert Kennedy Jr. dropped out of the 2024 presidential election today, and to no one's surprise, he endorsed Donald Trump and continued to just be really weird about it.
America's puberty rate is now occurring at age 10 to 13, which is 6 years earlier than girls were reaching puberty in 1900. Our country has the earliest puberty rates of any continent on the earth. And no, this isn't because of better nutrition. This is not normal.
RFK, in the words of Tim Walz, mind your own damn business. No one wants to hear you talk about puberty in our children. Nobody. And that's one of the reasons why no one supported your candidacy for president of the United States. And, you want Trump to be the one to handle puberty in our children, to handle that science? Donald Trump, the guy who's all over the Epstein files. Donald Trump, the guy who has talked about dating his daughter. Oh, RFK Jr., you are a creep. You have endorsed a creep. Thankfully, we no longer have to hear from you. I mean, his whole campaign has just been one big fraud to try to pull votes away from, used to be President Biden, and now Kamala Harris. I mean, it's really funny how the DNC wraps up, and the next morning, Kennedy drops out, has a big press conference, talks for an hour, goes rails against the Democratic Party, also tries to blame the U.S. for Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and then goes a step further trying to slam Joe Biden for talking about Russia's fraudulent elections.
I want to say a word about the Ukraine war. The military-industrial complex has provided us with a familiar comic book justification like they do on every war, that this one is a noble effort to stop a supervillain, Vladimir Putin, invading the Ukraine and then to thwart his Hitler-like march across Europe. In fact, tiny Ukraine is a proxy in a geopolitical struggle initiated by the ambitions of the U.S. neocons for American global hegemony. I'm not excusing Putin for invading Ukraine. He had other options. But the war is Russia's predictable response to the reckless neocon project of extending NATO to encircle Russia, a hostile act. President Biden mocked Vladimir Putin's 88% landslide in the Russian elections, observing that Putin and his party controlled the Russian press, and that Putin prevented serious opponents from appearing on the ballot. But here in America, the DNC also prevented opponents from appearing on the ballot. And our television networks expose themselves as Democratic Party organs.
Now, there was a big moment in Kamala Harris's DNC acceptance speech in which she said, in the enduring struggle of democracy versus tyranny, she stands on the side of democracy. She knows where the United States of America stands in the fight of democracy versus tyranny. And you don't get that type of unequivocal statements from people who are pushing the anti-West narrative like Kennedy Jr., like Donald Trump. They're all about this ambiguous talk of, NATO is surrounding Russia. Yeah, because Russia has made it very clear that they're an enemy of the West. And we don't go and invade the former Soviet Unions. We build democratic alliances with them. And that somehow in these guys' warped minds turns into, that's an act of aggression. No, that's a response to acts of aggression. Thankfully, we no longer have to hear from Kennedy Jr. He didn't get any support. He's not pulling any Democratic voters away from Kamala. And Donald Trump, on the other hand, is just sinking. I mean, he is completely losing it. He tweeted or Truth Socialed, whatever you want to call it, posted to Truth Social dozens and dozens of posts during the DNC. And then he held a rally today in Vegas in which he tried to attack Kamala Harris, and this is what he came up with.
And she mentioned thank you about 50 times. Did you see the beginning? Thank you, 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 thank you. I said, what the hell is wrong with her?
When Donald Trump's attacks on Kamala Harris make him look like a moron, you know that the SS Trump is submerged and sinking fast. But of course, I want to know what your reflections are of Kennedy Jr.'s dropping out of the presidential election and endorsing Donald Trump, the guy who's all over the Epstein files, the guy who has weird relationships with young women, that he's the guy to take care of this puberty in our youth. I don't get it. Maybe you can explain it to me, but I'd love to hear your comments down below. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brendan Plank. I make political videos on the daily. So subscribe for more videos about the election. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.